Democrats call for an investigation into Rudy Giuliani's involvement with Ukraine. National security journalist John Solomon says Giuliani's efforts were authorized. One America's John Hines sat down with Solomon to learn more.
So, bring us up to date. Why is everybody making a big fuss at Rudy Giuliani because he's been involved in this Ukraine issue?
So, Rudy Giuliani is the leading edge of the Trump legal team's effort to find out what's going on in Ukraine. When he went to Ukraine, he wasn't focused on Biden to begin with. He was trying to gather evidence that Ukrainians may have assisted either the Clinton campaign or the Russians in disseminating false information about President Trump.
And this is at the behest of the State Department, is that right?
Well, first, when he first goes, that's what he's there for. He's really there as the President Trump's defense lawyer, and he had a very specific purpose. This is a year ago, or last November. The Mueller report's not out. We don't know what Bob Mueller's conclusions is. His defense team is trying to put together the best possible defense for President Trump in case he's accused of any other wrongdoing. As we now know, the Mueller report exonerated the president on collusion. They said there were no Americans that were colluding with with Russia. But at the time before that, Rudy Giuliani didn't know that. In the course of being over there, he finds out about the Biden allegations. Of course, I report them, so they were already out in the public when Rudy finds out about them. But then he drops Ukraine for a while. He never goes to Ukraine. He's only talking to Ukrainians by phone. He stops talking to them for a long time. And then in July, this is an episode that originally the media made a big deal about. Oh my gosh, Rudy Giuliani was talking to the new president's chief lawyer, and there must be a scandal here. He's insinuating himself. He's pressuring the president of Ukraine to drop dirt on Hunter Biden. That was what, if you go back, you look, that's what all the stories are insinuating. There's just one problem with that storyline. Rudy Giuliani didn't initiate that contact. He was asked by the State Department, by Mike Pompeo's team, by the ambassador responsible for special relations with Ukraine, a guy named Volker. He was asked to make that call, to smooth over relationships, to help build trust between President Zelensky and President Trump by their two private lawyers having a conversation. That's a very different context than Rudy Giuliani's trying to dig up dirt on Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. The State Department asked it. This goes on all the time. People think that the State Department only has official relationships. There's a whole sub-universe of contact in the diplomatic world where private people are having conversations, and the State Department asked lawyers and Americans to assist and let us know what you hear, come back and brief us. Rudy Giuliani took the call and did the meeting in Spain with the President Zelensky's top lawyer at the request of the State Department, and then he came back and he briefed the State Department. If he's doing something nefarious, do you think he would have taken those two actions on? All of that did not get reported until I broke that. The reporting that's in evidence shows that Rudy Giuliani's contact with President Zelensky was not political nature, it was diplomatic nature. It was instigated by the State Department in an effort to build trust between this new president and the American president, who had shown very little interest in meeting with President Zelensky early on. Those things go on in diplomacy. It's called extracurricular diplomacy. It goes on all the time.
And so, but was this, when he went over there at the behest of the State Department, was this to look into the Biden-Ukraine?
Burisma. It was to help the new president, President Zelensky, and his lawyers understand where President Trump was. Why was he raising these questions? Why was he reluctant to meet with the new president of Ukraine? And the answer is the president has told a lot of his advisors, some that I've talked to multiple times, he thinks Ukraine is full of corruption and he doesn't have a lot of interest in dealing with it. He thinks it's a country that hasn't gotten itself right. And so he wanted to send a signal early on to President Zelensky. You may have run on an anti-corruption prosecutor, but you're a TV comic making your first run to political office. Show me something before I meet with you. And that spooked the Ukrainians, and so the Ukrainians wanted some guidance. How do I deal with the president? What is it he's asking for? What's he upset about? And that was why these two lawyers met on the sidelines, Rudy Giuliani and a guy named Zermak in Ukraine. The sort of things that goes on in diplomacy all the time, it almost never gets reported. In this case, it needs to get reported because it brings important context to what was going on in the relationship.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.